Alright, alright, alright. Alright, 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 Stuart. A bit. Is
Cool.
it live?
Been live for a while. You've been making a fool of yourself for a while now.
Oh. I thought you were gonna jump in something funny.
Nope.
I guess that's not what you normally like, so I don't expect that today. Oh.
All right, so we got 3 super chats to start, which is awesome. So Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Stuck at work, but here's 5 for the cause. Y'all have fun.
Boom.
Interactive chat.
Boom, boom, boom.
Thank you, Sergeant Montgomery.
Phenomenal.
Not a band account, $5. Star Trek Discovery, starting from the Mirror Lorca reveal.
Oh.
Ever since then, it's been overly emotionally cringe. Emotional cringe.
That's a very broad review there. Okay.
Mark Lawrence, $2. I like turtles. I like science. Oh. Yeah, that should have been on my list.
So, okay. I'm going to caveat instantly with this ain't my top 10 of all time.
No. That'd be very hard to do.
Yes.
This will be a multi-part live thing.
This is I was thinking for a while, some things stood out to me, and I numbered them.
Yes.
So that might mean they're some of my favourites that stand out, or maybe just because, who knows why, but my brain went places, and this is where we took it. So do not take this as top 10 of all time, and I think we'll have to come back and look at this again, maybe do some research, and, maybe I'll do a top 25. I'm maybe a Drunkyard's like top 30, and just like all the freaking cringes, because then number 1 might be like number 10. It's like, oh god, we found so many more worse ones!
Yes.
So yeah, and
this will be revisited at some point for sure.
And you also told me about how this pretty much encompasses anything. So yeah. This is extremely broad. So I'm expecting some curveballs here. And I think that's a good thing. So I don't know what Stuart's going to say. Could be just... You know him and his curveballs.
You shouldn't... What? You know me and my balls? Excuse me,
curved ones. Only the curved ones, though.
Oh, they're balls. They're all curved. Anyway... Mark Lawrence with $5. I am here. Cringe moment. Laughy face.
Wow.
Indeed.
Orcs.
All right. Well...
I'll start sharing.
Go share, and I'll talk to these fine people.
They are fine.
Is your business?
They are fine.
They are. They're not cringy at all. Just Samuel's cringe at the beginning there. It was cringing me out. So, welcome back, guys. It's time for another Trekyards live top 10. Today we're doing cringy moments in Star Trek. Now, there are so many episodes of Star Trek, so many different shows, movies. It'll be interesting to see what's on the lists. This is like Samuel kind of caveated at the beginning there. It's just kind of what was on our minds, what we thought about. There are a lot that I'm sure from his list, that'll be like, oh yeah, that should have been on mine. Much like the I like science thing. That is definitely a cringe-worthy moment. So bear that in mind, guys, but we want to hear yours as well. So if you can super chat, as you saw, we got some super chats here. They're a great way to support the channel. We do read them all on the air, so if you're able to, please do so, and we will get your cringe moments that way. Also, keep in mind that you can support the channel by subscribing, obviously, click the notification bell icon to all, and by also joining the channel. There's a join button down there if you want to help us on a monthly basis. Just a small amount a month is very important to the channel. So you can do it that way, or you can also head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to do it. There's lots of different ways to support us, even checking out the TeePublic and the Teespring store down below. Lots of great Trekyards merchandise and stuff, as well as some discount codes and affiliate links for Eagle Moss and stuff like that. So if you guys can check those out, we really appreciate it. And yeah, so do that. And as for likes are a free way to support the channel as well. If you can't afford to do a super chat, by all means, just hit that like button. We're at 25 right now with 40 people here. I'm sure we can get up to 50, so hit that like button if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate that. Also sharing the videos, just spreading the Trekyards name around to any Star Trek fans that you think might be interested in our content. Yeah, I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions and things. So by all means, super chat away and let us know your cringy moments. I'm sure there'll be someone Samuel's list that'll be like, oh yeah, that should have been on mine. But like we said, this is just kind of what came into our heads today, and it'll be interesting to see how the lists go.
And we'll see where this train wreck of train wrecks leads us.
Yes. Area 51, $5. Cringy moments, code of honor, all of it. Hashtag code of honor. Hashtag drink. What?
Oh, so much drinking. So much drinking on that one. Were we even cognizant and alive the next day? I don't even remember. Oh dear.
Pretty sure we were good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anywho.
I think this is a good one if you guys definitely want to put your thoughts in. This is very much a let us know what you think kind of one. Very, very much so. Just saying, people's thoughts will be really good in this one. Yes.
Yeah, this is a Samuel goes first one, so yeah.
Yep, so I went up first last time, I believe.
I went first yesterday, yes.
Okay, I guess I'm going first this time then. Alright.
Unless you want me to, I can go first. I really don't care.
Nah, it's too cringe. So my number 10 is actually a three-parter. As I spoke to you about curveballs. So the first picture is from Discovery. But this one instantly made me think of this moment. And let's see if you can. I'm sure you can see where I'm going from the picture when it comes up. But this is how it all starts with this scene, and there's a lot of tension, a lot of threat, a big ass battle, and it's powerful, sort of, but not really. And it's two characters we like. And let me know when you can see it.
I can see it. I've been seeing it for a while.
Well, say it is you say. Yeah, and so yeah, there's this photon torpedo. It's going to destroy the entire ship. It's in this I think it's a conference room, and they can't deactivate it. And Cornwall says, "Oh, I'll close the door, manning on this side. I'll sacrifice myself." And Pike goes into the turbo lift, and then so it goes from this scene, this moment, to this moment on the view screen. The level of explosion, as visible here, is giant, with shockwaves, smoke, debris. That level of explosion. And then cut to the next shot. Pike's reaction is... And that's his entire reaction to this explosion, literally 4 foot in front of him. 5 foot. Obviously, the fact the door can't take it. But just the level of explosion and the reaction and the scene is such a cringe moment of stupidity. It's just... why isn't the whole door made of that then? If the door survived, then obviously the whole ship is blown up except the door and the corridor. Is Toeth not dead? It just makes no sense. Like if the blast should have closed and gone up and then destroyed, fine. But it's like, oh no, a slight light as the entire front of my ship was blown apart. Wow, the acting.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cringe moment, really terrible. And I just like, yeah, it's a really bad Discovery cringe moment because it should have been better.
I would agree with that 100%. And then I'm surprised you didn't include a shot of the ship afterwards, like the big chunk that's out of the ship.
4 parts would seem excessive.
It's like it blew up everything in front of Pike, but nothing around Pike, which doesn't.
Yes.
That's not how explosions work.
Yes.
So yeah, not definitely very cringe.
Yeah, and it's just like they didn't have to show the explosion on the outside of the hull, but I actually forgot how big it was. It's insanity.
Hmm.
Oh hi.
Good choice.
How's it going, Alec? Yeah. So there you go. Bit random. I was like, oh yeah, because I think there's obviously stuff from Discovery. What was a cringe moment rather than the other type moment? And I was like, yeah. Oi. Oi. Yeah, the door takes no damage either. There you go.
Yeah. Good choice.
There's my
good way to
number
kick us
10.
off. Kick us off with a bang or a boom.
But we'll all just react as if it's nothing. So that's fine. Alright, your number 10, Stuart.
Oh, my number 10. All right. My number 10 is the wedding chest from Haven.
That went bloody...
Apparently doesn't have up right now.
Well, no, because you have 3 honorable mentions, which obviously skews the. Okay.
Well, they weren't honorable mentions. They were just
In the
ones that were
fold.
thrown into the folder.
Well, okay.
It didn't make the cut.
Because I didn't look at. I don't look at them, so if they were on the list, then they. Okay. Right. There you go.
All right, yeah. This is Armin Shimmerman's first appearance on TNG or Star Trek, and this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life or seen. It's TOS levels of special effects, if you want to call them that. This is actually one of Sylvia's choices that she threw out, and I kind of agreed with her. So it did have to make the list because what the hell is this thing, and why does it exist? It's just dumb beyond dumb. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Cringe beyond cringe.
Right. Would not have even considered that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. They don't have to be like action like scenes or scenes in general. They just
Indeed.
These are things like it's even said with it could be special effects, it could be CGI, it could be whatever. That just kind of make you go, oh, really? And this is one of them.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I remember for me, it's a moment where it just sort of goes by so quickly of, Right, interesting. Cool. I mean, yeah. Was this one that you saw when you were a lot younger, and you were just like, ugh. So that kind of always stuck with you? As well?
No, it's actually the older I get, the more, every time I see this, I'm like, why is this a thing? This is the dumbest thing I've ever even imagined.
You just have a talking screen then.
Yeah.
Having a face is...
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is just weird.
They've been used to having just computers talk audibly for 200 years. Just have a computer talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Right. Damn. Cool. Okay. At least our list probably won't be the same at this rate, which is good. Cool. All right. My number 9, then, and I've already forgotten them, which is always fun in this. I remember the last one because it was silly. My number 9 is... yes. Chekhov's outfit from Star Trek 3.
The Quaker outfit?
Okay, now, this is the first time they have civilian outfits, right? Sulu, a bomb jacket with a blue whatever, great. Scotty, just a Rathacon bomber jacket, looks great in it. McCoy, great. Uhura's in full uniform. Kirk, great. Even it's got pink in it, great. Check off this pansy-ass child's toy outfit that he looks terrible in. It's the most cringy uniform. I'm glad he's barely in that movie because he looks awful in every second of screen time.
No, he doesn't, because the collar is only there for that scene. Then they take that stupid collar off, which makes it look 1,000 times better. That collar is only in that one scene, and yeah, they realized it looks stupid, I guess. But yeah. It's very... It's
one of the worst outfits in all of Star Trek. And it's like, this is one of your heroes. It shows how little they cared about Walter Koenig in the grand scheme. He probably got leftover fabric from everyone else. Like, I see the small hexagonal thing in the middle there's the TMP belt, but it's just the most cringy outfit. And I'm glad that this next one he has just a leather jacket and it looks great. He says, come on, he's one of your 6 leads who you're building the franchise on.
Yeah.
Cringy.
Yeah, I would include this for sure on a list, but like I said, if you watch the rest of the movie, they take that color off and it looks infinitely better. It's still an awful color. Like, I don't know why they went with this color palette, even with Kirk's shirt. But it's forgivable, I guess. Real men can wear salmon. It's not pink.
Well, like I said, Kirk looks fantastic. His outfit just looks excellent.
Yeah.
But it also just looks like he looks like a 6-year-old child, which had that balloon and the little hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to make him look as young as TOS because they succeeded. Trying to recoup that
Maybe
sex
that
appeal.
was the thinking behind it. Yeah.
Because he's not in the movie very much at all. He's at the end, he's wearing a jacket, so really he's only in a couple of scenes with this at most, and if in one of them he's got this, that's a large percentage of his movie is in this version of it, because he's in so few scenes. But just this... Maybe
because they're stealing the Enterprise, they caught him at home off guard, like those are like pajamas or something. And he's just hurrying to get there as fast as he can.
I like that.
I don't know.
But look how cool
Nothing else was clean. It was laundry day.
Laundry day. Nothing clean.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
would
so
cringy. Just come naked, then check off.
Yeah. Naked would have been better. Would have been still been pink, but, would have looked better on him. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That always started to me as just a
Well,
Bad
I
mistake.
want to talk to the costume designer for that movie. Like, why those color choices? Like, there's a certain palette there, weird kind of pastelly blues, and I mean, McCoy's looks fine, but yeah, Kirk has the pink shirts. I don't know. I don't get it.
It works mostly. Just
Looks
there's
like they're
different extremes.
leftover remnants from the motion picture, like supposed to be background characters, and they're like, here, just use this. I don't know.
Yeah. Weird, weird,
Hmm.
weird.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm surprised I didn't think of that one actually.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, well, let's go to my number 9.
Yes.
Guys, put in yours as well. Super chat away, please. We appreciate it. Another 4 likes to get to 50. But
Ooh, yes.
my number 9 is a small little moment from The Naked Now with Beverly and Picard.
Ah,
Not the scene, one particular thing, and that's Patrick Stewart's horse noise that he makes. Not now, Doctor. Whatever the fuck that was. Cringy as fuck from a great actor, and I don't know why that was done. Is that his equivalent of a cold shower? Because why? I mean, it would be a turnoff for Beverly, I would imagine. It'd be a turnoff for anyone. But that's just... It's incomprehensible why that is in that scene. That is the weirdest noise ever.
I mean, it's also the scene in general. Maybe he was so caught up with the weird vibes, he just improv'd shit.
Oh, he definitely did. That wasn't in the script. Horse
No,
noise.
I'm sure it was. Patrick uses his old, horsing lessons to tell her to kneel, to neigh. No, not kneel, to neigh.
Maybe that, yeah, I mean, he's saying no, which, the word for no is nay.
There you go.
So, nay.
In France in 2350s,
Yeah,
you vocalize "I don't want sex" by horse noises.
that's how you turn off the horses so they don't mate when they're not supposed to. You just walk around the stable making that noise. That's maybe what it is. I don't know.
Or that's the noise that you to tell vineyard crows to get away. It just, yeah. I know this is in the thumbnail because it is a cringy scene, but also it's just a miss.
I had it on my list before you even made the thumbnail.
Yep.
Which I thought was funny.
It's because it's just, and this one's bad for me more because Beverly starts undressing and just the act. I mean, they're giving it all. If this was a better episode, a better scene, they're giving it all. They're really trying. But
keep in mind, this is the first episode after the pilot.
Yep.
I know the pilot was 2 parts, but
Yep.
This is how they're starting the series.
Yep.
And Captain Picard. And I know this is when Patrick Stewart was still in his serious, I'm a Shakespearean actor phase. He did that for seasons 1 and 2 pretty much, and then he kind of mellowed out. But what? I don't know. This is very theatrical, I guess. He's a stage performer, so I don't know.
yeah, it's but it does. I mean, they are under the influence of alienness, so it's not as if it's their characters. It is disease and drug ridden, blah blah blah. But yes, it's definitely a cringy, cringy.
Yeah, very.
moment.
We got some super chats, which is great.
Yes.
Keep them up, guys. Not a band account, $2. Changing Savick to Robin Curtis was jarring. Yes, and changing any actor in a particular role is always jarring, but yes.
I thought both were great in different ways. So I really have no preference.
They're also years apart, though, so a lot of people might not necessarily have noticed quite as obviously, I guess, on screen. But
and technically, one got 2 movies. So
yes, who's more canon than canon?
Exactly.
But one was also in the best Star Trek thing ever made. So
Star Trek 4?
it's not like...
Actually, Star Trek 4 as well. Also, one of the best Star Trek things ever made. So, depends which way you go around for that, actually.
Wow, you know what I mean.
Darn it, yeah.
Mark Lawrence, $2. Is that outfit even available in STO? Oh, Chekos? Probably not. Is it available from Anavis? Oh, wait a minute. That's the question.
Rest in peace.
When are you getting that costume for your costume changes there, Samuel?
When
You know you want it.
When you hold up the Detmer signed poster
Oof.
in right there next to the robot, like on the wall, big poster.
I should put my Murray Wiseman one up there. No. Not a band account, $2. Star Trek Picard, the copy and paste fleet. That wasn't cringe, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was looking back at it when you actually analyze it. So Yeah.
I wouldn't call that cringe in the way we're using them. I'd call that more embarrassing, depressing, and sad.
All the above.
Which is different to cringe. Cringe is like, ugh, oh, this is lame. That was just like, ugh, you let us down, guys. Because this is silly, right? This isn't. Patrick didn't let us down here. They did weird freaking shit. And Chekhov's habit isn't they didn't let us down. It's just the hell were they thinking? Were they high? What? What?
Well, they were on an alien, drug.
I mean the Chekhov thing, but yeah.
Oh.
Very
Not a band
strange.
account, $2. Kurtzman's obsession with Igor. Yeah.
Is there many Igor scenes?
I don't know. Kurtzman should have been on this list as number 1. Most cringeworthy thing about Star Trek. Anywho, moving on. Not a band account again with another $5, so thank you. Star Trek Picard. Picard badly played French villain in 7. His character is supposed to be French. Am I not particularly sinister?
That's so true. Yeah, a real Frenchman doing a bad French accent. As in, an English actor who's a real Frenchman doing a fake French accent.
Well, yeah, a British actor playing a Frenchman with a British accent, playing a Frenchman with a bad French accent.
Yes, thank you. Perfect.
That goes like everywhere.
Yeah, that was true cringe. That is also great. And hey, there you go. That's for our second list because that is definitely pretty bad.
Yeah, that should be on the list.
Yeah, and
good job, not a band account. See, that's why your input's important.
Yeah,
there's more to talk about. So.
And Darth Eddie says, Commander O wearing sunglasses. That's almost cringe. So just like, I said things to do at the time that someone just forgot to take the sunglasses off. I just won't watch the monitor and the actress just kept them on is how it feels. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they weren't futuristic holographic sunglasses, because that could have been cringy if they tried to do that. Could also been less to complain about, but at the same time it could have turned really cringeworthy. So
I would have preferred space sunglasses.
Depends how they looked. That's what I'm going for.
Yes, it's just, yes, absolutely.
Not a band account, $2. He could have at least memorized the lines in French.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah. All right, so now we're on to number 8. 8. Yes,
number 8 is. Yeah. So this one's always bugged me. It was again. It might have been my highest ever. It's number 8, but this always gets me. It's the Mr. Tricorder from Generations. Oh, I can use the. Yeah, Mr. Tricorder from Generations. Just this little chunk, because Dave's gone a bit crazy the entire film, and this one in particular is just like, ugh, god damn it.
See, I considered this one, but it works with the character and what's happening with his emotion chip. It's actually very characterful. It's something it's messing with his programming. So I have no problem with this one.
But that's exactly the same as the Naked Now one, because they're just high on sex drugs. So it's perfectly in character to want each other sexually.
No, because not everybody's acting like an idiot and saying stupid things. Sure, they're all horny and they're doing, things that are a little out of character. But the harumph? No. Yeah, this one I think suits a bit better. I can justify this one.
No,
I can justify the Picard one too, but
because Dave does a few of these, but this one particularly just feels lame to me. Like someone had an idea.
This was improvised. This was Brent just being Brent on set. You know how much of a character he is.
Well, I don't know. Is that true? I've not heard that.
Oh, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I think you can kind of tell. That seems like an improvised thing.
Because Lifeforms improvised, it actually was, and it works very well. But this just feels like they thought it would be funny, but it's not. I know he's not actually trying to be funny; it's trying to be lame funny. But even lame funny, it's too lame funny for me. And just the act,
Well, it's not supposed to be taken as a serious funny thing at any point. So yeah,
it's just like I say, it's just cringe. I watch and think, ugh, this little bit of his. Whereas I like the Open Sesame. I think that's kind of funny. This one this one's cringe for me every time I see it. I don't know why. It's just a combination of acting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly why.
Yeah, like there's a few that some people will suggest, and I'll be like, no, that actually suits the character or what's happening to the character at the time. So I kind of rule them out. They're supposed to be cringy. That's the point. It's the ones that aren't meant to be cringy that, to me, are the cringy ones that we need to talk about. So that one could be either or. So, all right. My number 8, and again, I do forget the order I put all these in. So, are you ready to go to my number 8? I know you're reading.
Yes.
My number 8 is the Salamanders from Threshold.
Oh my god.
You know, Threshold started out as a pretty good episode. The first half I really enjoy. This whole premise of evolving into these at some point is ludicrous and completely silly, and they just leave them there. Those are their kids. They have some kind of genetic connection to Janeway and Paris. We're just going to leave you there. It's fine. So, yeah, also an invasive species on this planet. Good job, guys. You're going to ruin the whole ecosystem. So, I don't know. People would say Threshold's a bad episode. I disagree. I like the majority of Threshold. It's just this end that just kills it, and it's such a quick wrap-up. It's like, oh, this happened. Oh, we're back now. But we're going to leave them there. Bye. It's like, no, well, everything about that's cringy. So.
Yeah, for me, it more falls under the lame rather than
definitely
cringy.
Lame, yes. Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily say cringy for me. But it's because the episode just is not a great episode in general. But like I say, it's just the end lets it down.
Yeah.
So which moment then specifically, or just the concept of it? Like, what's the moment? Because there's always a moment of cringe, like the moment where it hits you. So what's this specific moment?
This is the evolution of the human species.
Right.
That's a de-evolution. We used to be shit like that. We started walking upright.
No.
We're on our way to being non-corporeal. That's what a lot of the evolution in Star Trek is. There's a whole episode about it. The Hunted? No. Anyway, where the guy, they're after him because of the changes in his body, and he becomes this non-corporeal being. That's evolution for you. That's like the end goal for all sentient species, I think. And they kind of make that indication a few times during Star Trek. And yet, this is the evolution.
Yeah.
I just have no words.
And it's not even as if there's a payoff to it, like you say, if it kind of was fun or whatever. Okay.
Jeff Sturm says, and they never mention it again. They do. They reference it in Lower Decks as one of the creatures on the farm, the medical farm ship thing. So, I know we were never salamanders, Jeff, but I'm just saying, we went from amoeba to a swimming thing to something crawling out on land. Evolution. And if you don't believe in evolution, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think you should be here. Anyway, so yeah, that's mine, number 8.
Yeah. All right. And it's fun because it's like, I wouldn't call it cringe, but I can see why you would. Nice. All right. My number... Which number's this?
Number 7.
Because I've got lots of pictures, so... Number 7 Oh, yeah, go. Okay. Is... Okay, so... I was scanning TNG, thought, hey, let's just start watching Star Trek and see what happens, right? And I you're left thinking which one's which, and I remember thinking back to when you reviewed this episode, just thinking, oh dear, the man nips, the lack of bras, the amount of ass, the amount of bodily touching, it's just like, oi, because there are ways this could have been done better, obviously, but everything hanging so loose and free and running around and jiggling, men and women, and the amount of ass, etc. It's just watching cringe because it's just this sexualized fantasy when it could have been kind of a something, that they, you can make a free love state something, And this is just, even just watching the scenes, just like, that main guy's costume, just the man nips have to be free. It's just like, oh look, and then the seam on the woman's skirt is just like, yep, I'm just gonna. And I remember we watched the scene. It was like, there's so many moments where this is almost a bad moment. It's like, oh god. So yeah, just a cringy set of costume choices and a cringy set of scenes that I rewatched briefly. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm so busy today. But the fact that they like, oh hello Riker, and they almost kiss him. It's like you just met him and stop shaking him with your eyes. You just goodness. So yeah, I want to give this a little bit of credit. Yeah.
The societal choice, I wouldn't call it cringy at all. It's got another one of those bad mistakes, like bad decisions maybe, but I wouldn't call it cringe. That's me personally. So, but I see why you would. So that's cool. Not a band account, $5. Growing up, I was so upset my parents turned the TV off for this episode. Justice. Star Trek TNG was our weekly treat. Heartbroken. Had some pretty strict parents if they turned off Star Trek because of this. I don't know. I think there's nothing here that went too far. Almost, but...
Well, like I say, it's not too far, it's cringe.
Yeah.
So, that's my line. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying things that just stuck out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to number 7. For me, which is Turnabout Intruder. Pretty much the entire... Well, not the entire episode. There's a few small things in the episode that are all right. But Shatner's overacting, all of the cringe regarding Janice Lister and her trying to take over the Enterprise, the whole no female captains in Starfleet. There's a lot in this episode. So and also the fact that this was the very last episode of TOS. This was their
epic conclusion.
Their series finale, which they didn't really know, I guess, but still.
Sure.
It's an awful thing to leave on, and so many really unique acting choices from Shatner in this one. So yeah, that's definitely up there as far as cringe moments. There's a lot of cringy moments in this one episode. So a lot of cringy decisions as well that were made with the script and things. So I don't know. This one is definitely, the whole episode is pretty much cringe.
And I appreciate we hadn't really discussed this going in, and yet you've already put the two things that I put the thumbnail in. So I'm very happy. That makes me happy on the inside. Well, hey. And I will admit that I was trying to think about TOS, and I know there are moments, but nothing that I could justify with a lot of internal monologue. Like I remember that his speech about well, women can't do them. I'm like, ugh. But I'm like, I have to go back and watch it, find it. Do I like the other things that hit me more instantly? So I was like, I'm not gonna, I think when I watch TOS again, that'd be a good time to re-go over the list. But I do remember this as being a weird one. But at least it's memorable. He doesn't feel like
not a band account. I'll get to your super chat in a second. Sorry, I missed one.
Yeah.
I'll just read now. $5. Thank you so much. The Scimitar and Nemesis. It's a bad fanfic ship. Bigger than the D with more weapons, extra shields, and cloak, and it can fire while cloaked, and a giant planet-killing death ray. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Scimitar. I'm not even a fan of the design, really. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Fanfic ship for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's hard to nail down just one superiorly cringy moment from this episode, but that picture does kind of sum it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many moments in this episode where I'm like, oh, ugh. So
and you kind of know that a few people in the cast thought these are some odd lines.
Leonard Nimoy hated this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He was very vocal about it years afterwards. So yeah. It was even for the time, it was very not progressive. Star Trek always went out of its way to be progressive, and this one was very much, I don't know.
And the weird thing is, you've had plenty of gender swap stories where you can really do them well. One that springs to mind is when the Doctor takes over Sin of Nine's body, and she's playing the Doctor playing. It's like it's actually quite interesting the way they do that, and other examples abound, and that's fun. It can be, there are distinct ways you can act the genders, either stereotypical or just for laughs or for impact. but they go in odd directions here. I mean, she's obviously that Janice Lester is an unstable maniac, so not going to be the most stable inside a powerful man with control of a starship. So there is some vague logic to it, like in the abstract of, okay, I see a chain of thought here, but all of the decisions around that chain of thought, like, oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're going on to Samuel's number 6 now.
Ooh.
We're steaming along on this one. There are a few honorable mentions we can talk about after our first one. Plus, this is where you guys come in and let us know your cringy moments. We can talk about those as well. So,
yeah, we love the chat. My next one.
Hit like. We need 75, so that's another 11 likes, guys.
Yes, please do. My next one is the brand new one, 2021 brand new moment. This is the Boimler splits. The boy within so from one almost orgy to an actual orgy, the orgy itself okay, and then you cut to you can't get more sexualized than a spread eagle Boimler. It's just a cringe of like, oh. It is Lodex rubbing their dick in your face and saying, look at, feel this dick, feel it. It's like, oh, well, okay.
I would make the argument though that it's Lower Decks. That's their brand of humor. So, but yeah, this one went a little bit too far, and that was a moment where I actually did go. Ugh. So
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say the style of humor is hardcore sexual humor.
No, but it's definitely off-brand humor.
And this is off-brand humor.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, in Born in Season 1, when he stood up and he was naked with a little box, that was great. That was like, okay, it makes sense. It was just being sent for us. But this is as sexual as you can get. That butthole of freedom. Yeah, this was a cringe moment. And I don't mind the rest of the orgy stuff, as I'm often want to say. But this... But this just shot. And I'm making you guys look at it too. So, cringe along with me.
Not a band account puts in another $5, so thank you. Star Trek TOS Wolf in the Fold taking Scotty to a dancing girl joint to cure his hatred for women because of one incident with a crewman. Come on. Yeah, that was the whole, oh, your girlfriend broke up with you and your buddies all take you to the bar to make you feel better moment.
Well, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But then doesn't he not murder a lady? And then it's like, oh.
Yeah, they thought he murdered a lady because he had hatred of women because his girlfriend broke up with them,
Yes.
which that's the premise that would be cringy for me.
Yes.
Not the moment of them taking him to the bar.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you get this off my screen? Well.
Yeah, we can. We'll go to my number
God,
6.
those of them with like 85-inch TV with 5.1 surround sound, watching it with their kids, and whoo! Yes.
Yeah, my number 6 might take care of that for you. Here we go. Sub Rosa Ghost. It's still sex it's Beverly with her orgasm smile on in the chair, but it's the whole episode again. And I don't remember much of this episode because I don't remember much of this episode. I'm traumatized. Irish people on a planet that don't do very good Irish accents, and her grandmother and a candle with a spirit ghost alien thing in it. So anyway, or Scottish, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, definitely a panned episode, and I just don't remember much of it. I remember her resigning from Starfleet and Picard trying to talk her out of it, and then saying that he had no right to do so. She could quit, and yeah. There you go.
Don't even remember it enough to be annoyed by it. But we will get there.
Gates McFadden hated the episode as well. So
yes. So the sex ghost moment specifically is the cringe moment.
Well, the whole episode is cringe.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely the sex scene is cringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
30-something man-child throws in 2 pounds.
Hey, good to see.
Code of Honor TNG or Magatu Horn scene from Lower Decks. So there you go.
See,
Everybody keeps mentioning Code of Honor, and we still have half a list to go here or more, so it might pop up.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd call Code of Honor cringe so much as... So I was going to use it for thumbnail, but then showing a black guy...
Let's not talk about it right now, because we might have to talk about it later.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to talk about it later, so I can talk about it now as well. You just cannot talk about it. So I chose not to put a black guy in the thumbnail because I thought that would be a bad thing to have for most cringe. But, you know, it's hard to summarize an episode without a black person. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's not poke that hornet's nest.
Not a bad account, $2. When this aired, the glass ceiling dropped.
Which is funny because before this, obviously, then Deanna got her uniform and passed the commander's training and blah, blah, blah. And then Beverly becomes captain last episode, so the ceiling goes up again 5 foot because she becomes full-on captain.
Yeah. Matt Boardman, $5. The cringe moment is them not being able to write a good story for Crusher when they seem to be able to do that for every other Doctor in Star Trek. I mean, she had a few good episodes and storylines. Not an episode dedicated directly to her character.
Yes, remember me. With the vanishing crew. That's 100% her.
Yeah.
She's in every single moment of the episode, pretty much. Yeah, there isn't too many, but obviously you know it goes down the list. But I think Beverly's a great supporting and perfect Doctor. You know, I mean, how many Bones episodes to get to himself?
Those TOS though, they never focused on one character.
Sure.
Like that.
And this was a continuation of TOS. You know, I think we just got used to the fact
Not
that
in season 7 it wasn't.
Well, no, but I'm referencing more the early stuff. And then
Which this is not for sure.
That's why they gave her an episode, Stuart. That's the point. It just was a bad choice. Hit and a miss. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Well, somebody just commented on the Facebook post for this and said, Patrick Hill, he says, pretty much every episode from season 1 of TNG, and I have to 1,000% disagree. There's some good episodes in TNG season 1. I hate that. I hate when people do that. They don't go back and rewatch things. They just...
Because we both did.
Yes.
And we had first-hand review experience. We sat through all 22 hours or 26 hours. Whichever.
Area 51, $2. Beverly, she ain't afraid of no ghosts.
She is ghost banging. Da-ba-da-da-da-da.
Who are you gonna call? Ghost bangers.
There you go.
Oh, so much. All right.
He's yeah. Okay, my number 5.
Samuel's number 5.
Yes. After the Boim Dong scene is the 3 secs in a row. Because Trek is not really about that. This I was able to pick the first version because I was scrolling through Enterprise at this point, and it's the decontamination scenes where they're rubbing gel on each other. It's
Decon gel.
It's just cringy. It's unnecessary. It doesn't like twice the idea of the decontamination chamber is plot driven, and I guess there is some genuine positivity to the fact that they are rubbing gel on each other in a theoretically sexual way with zero sexual implication because it's just their job and professionals have done this for 30 years. There is nothing. We're only seeing it as weird because we're weird. Just like the showing the sonic showers in Lower Decks. It's great, even if it's weird for us. Sure, there is logic there, but the way it's portrayed as too sexual, the way it's done, there's just, and obviously the fact they get together shows there is some sexual tension there anyway. It's just unnecessary. It's cringy. And the first time it appeared, I remember thinking, Luckily, they use it less and less as they realize it's a god awful stupid thing to do, but it's just cringy moments of just cut, just cut, instantly cut out of the episodes, So yeah, cringy stuff.
Yeah, I love how they tried to frame it as decontamination gel that gets any bacteria or anything off, harmful bacteria, because you don't have a transporter at this point to filter that out. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of lingering on some stuff that's unnecessary. But they did that. That was a Rick Berman thing to show less skin or more skin. Sorry, and yeah.
I mean, it is, two of their attractive, leads.
Mm-hmm.
And they're equal skin. It's not as if anything, Trip showed more skin, full chested.
Yeah.
Both sexualized, etc., etc. It's just, just daft.
Yeah.
And it could have been done well. Like there is a technical logic for it, but it just wasn't done well. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, even the mood lighting, which is like contamination, like lighting, it's like ultra.
You know what I might have done?
Ultraviolet rays.
UV light does actually destroy.
Yes, I know. That's what I was. Yeah.
You know what I might have done instead, and it sounds antithetical to what I just said, but I might have done it the exact opposite. I might have actually had them be totally naked, or they actually have to get rid of every one of their clothes as part of the process, and then go into like a silhouetted bay where like steam, like a gas, encompasses them, and you see a silhouette, that's a silhouette, and then they get a towel and they move on. So it's like a very literal
silhouette.
Yeah, sure.
That would work really well.
Well, yeah. But I mean, blurry because it's on frosted glass. But like the implication of yes, because they're not lathering up their clothes. So there's a very clinical.
They take their clothes off and put.
That's
they
true.
Take their clothes off, put them in lockers, which get decontaminated, and then they put these on. So they do that. Just
do I say? Because it just feels more clinical and just moving past it, and you run through the scenes without even lingering. You just do it, move on, whatever. If you had to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to my number 5 on my list is... Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a good sign.
Riker's chest hair pajamas.
These are all sexual, Stuart. We go from one chest to another chest. Goodness, Stuart. There's definitely a pattern here.
These are ridiculous beyond ridiculous. And then also Troy and Yar's reaction to said pajamas were a little bit much. I realize this is a leftover TOS script. But no, we don't need to see this. These pajamas were even on sale in one of the shops on the space station in Lower Decks. Just for the record, guys.
Well, the trend caught
Maybe
on.
they're the exact one worn by Riker. I don't know, but ew. I don't know. Ew. Just on my title, Riker's chest hair pajamas. Because
this, Stuart. This is worse than the cartoon Ghost, but well, with Stuart, this is satire thing.
See, it's so bad it killed the stream.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mark Lawrence, $5. Tasha giving Wesley the drug talk was cringy for me, even when I was a kid. The drug talk was on my list, yes, but other things bumped it off the list for sure. Not a band account throws in $2 and says Riker was disappointing. Effeminate gown turnoff.
I'd just have him shave his chest, honestly. That'd make a big improvement.
It would.
And not that I'm trying to diss his thing, but he'd look a lot more in context. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's not a good scene, but it's, I don't know. I considered it, mostly because he joked about it, though, and we've joked about it at the time. I was like, yeah, but I cringe more at Chekhov's outfit than I would at this. This is like, ugh. That's like, Because they were fine in their effort. They made lots of poor mistakes in TNG Season 1, but by Sergeant 4 they should have known better. For clothing choices.
Jaddock Productions throws in $5 Australian and says, I know it's the 80s, but for Kayla's sake, wax that thing. Right?
Well, that could be an entire sequence where they say, "Ooh, chest hair. That's not allowed on this planet." They get an electric sci-fi thing, and they do an effect where just do it in 2 takes. I mean, they pull in a body double with the chest hair, and they shave it, and then they do a CGI replacement. Now it's a straight. Oh my God, that could be a whole thing. Thing.
But I could have gone my whole life with not seeing this and been perfectly fine. So, just saying.
But what's worth, Boimler's spread legs or this?
One's animated and in a show that has adult-centric humor. This isn't a fun. We're revitalizing Star Trek. Please watch. And season one of the first episodes, it's just like, oh no. I can see Kirk wearing this in TOS because he has no chest hair. I can see it looking better on him, but whatever. I don't know. I'm done.
Makes
General
sense.
Grievous, $2. The VR game where people made suspicious sounds. Yes, the game.
Yeah.
Just let the game happen.
Just let the discs flow through you. What? I can start.
Put that thing into the hole, and you feel good. That's what the game was.
Yeah. Push the red thing through the pink thing.
Yeah.
Then the next thing next to it.
Facts.
Hashtag pleasure. Speaking of lack of their said pleasure, my number 4. As we near the podium. Ah yes, God, they're all fucking sexual. My number 4 is the Uhura fan dance in Star Trek V. It's so cringe. If she was Uhura from the JJ films, great. She was like a 50-year-old woman. Why is this a thing that they plan to do? It's like, let's have our, I mean, I get it's a MILF, you might like MILFs, fine. But I know they don't know who she is, but it's just like, right, Lieutenant, you're a qualified staff officer, strip, take these fans, so you have to be, it's terrible. Such a cringe moment, and there are a billion better ways to do a billion better things. It's just really bad. I mean, come on, it's Star Trek 5, a lot of stuff got through, but I'm really surprised it got through. So yeah, embarrassing and cringe.
Yeah. Thought about it for half a second and then thought, I don't think the actress was opposed to the idea, so I mean, whatever she wants to do to feel empowered. So.
But actors like to have fun, doesn't mean it fits the context of the scene. Or is it,
True.
well, the context of the character and... But it's like the first thing they try is strip Lieutenant and play with fans while all the other people...
It's definitely going to work. A bunch of horny guys on a desert planet.
I'd just go
it's
shoot
one
them.
thing that would work.
I'd just go shoot them. It's just a cringy thing to do. Of all the things. I mean, yeah, the cat's kind of cringy after the 3-breast cat in the pool, but it's like, this is...
That was more cringy than this, I think.
Oh, no. That's a creative choice gone wrong. This is just a cringe. Like I say, if she was 20, perfect. She's like 50. Too old for that shit. I'm going to see her age.
Not in the future.
No, not in the future.
She'd be too old for it at 90, but at 50, she's still fine. Yeah. General Grievous, $2. Holocork and Drag, Move Along Home scarred me. It's funny, General Grievous, because Sylvia suggested that one as well. However, it suited this story and what was happening with the holodeck program. It did what it was supposed to do, so it wasn't a cringe moment. It was planned to be cringe, and that's different than being cringe because you're trying to do something else.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not on my list.
Yeah, she was 57 when she did this scene.
Yeah.
So late 50s. She was old my parents. She's old as my mum.
Not a band account, $2. At least we got a Rutherford fan dance equality. It's true, but he was wearing like Vulcan robes.
He was. That was funny. That was a fun cringe, because you get the double reference to the reference.
Yes.
Yeah. Ferocious statue pasties.
Pasties, yeah.
At least I appreciate we didn't see anything, but what is the context of which is? Because it looks like she's wearing a bodysuit. See, it would have been funny if she was wearing a full uniform, and like as they got closer, it's like she's clearly just wearing a full uniform. Because there's no, doesn't need legs, does she, to have the scene to work, As they close, like, you're not naked? No, I'm not, Phaser. I don't know. Well, it's cool with the 2 moons, and that's presumably a practical effect, so I guess it's just a big projection screen, I guess? So it's pretty cool.
Mark Lawrence, $2. The cockiness of Red Squad always eats at my soul.
Sometimes, yeah. There's a little bit of the Valiant episode that was a bit like, guys. But they're meant to be sort of zealots in their own small way.
All right, so that was your number 4, correct?
Yes. Your number 4 then, sir.
My number 4 is... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, this makes sense, though, because we are going for cringe, so of course we're cringing our own cringe. Sorry, your number 4.
From Way to Eden. More specifically, the song, Hey Brother, and the other songs in it, and the whole episode, and... Actually, the premise of the episode's really good.
That's funny.
Like, this didn't age well. This was obviously made in the 60s, and they're definitely referencing flower power and the hippies, and it is awful. The dialogue, the acting, the singing, Spock's weird fascination with them. Yeah, I get it. Vulcans are peace-loving, but it was bad for the character, in my opinion. And it's funny that the one guy there, forget his name, but the curly-haired one, he actually goes on to play a 5-star general in DS9's Little Green Men. So the opposite end of the spectrum. He plays a warmongering general. In the 60s, he was playing a hippie peace lover. So I thought that was hilarious. But other than that, it's just a bad episode. And so a lot of things in the episode again, but yeah, cringy moments for me are the songs particularly. So
I just cringe at songs in general in films unless they're done really, really well, and they're not a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I can't remember the episode enough because this is one you don't actively choose to go back and watch, so it's not fresh in my mind. But at least they have a certain space hippie vibe. Maybe only 2 of them you'd think of as wearing 60s outfits. And the kind of space hippie. There's a little bit of effort put in.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
not
two of the costumes are pretty good.
Yeah.
2 of the costumes are pretty good and don't feel hippie, even though they're showing hips and they're hippie. But the other ones feel very like pulled out of a protest in the 60s.
Yeah.
With flowers stuck behind your ear and just...
Yeah, they're trying something relevant.
Yep, they were.
That's
moving on to Not
it.
a Band of Counts.
Okay.
$2 super chat. Spock is not a Herbert. He is not. He follows.
Well, this would be an exciting one when we get to the the re-review. That'd be fun.
All right, 80 likes, guys. 100 people here. Hit that like button if you haven't. We can easily hit 100 likes. I want to do so. We also need some more super chats. We're coming into our top 3 each. And we want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as well.
50 would be nice.
Yeah, 50 bucks would be awesome. That's
not
kind
a
of minimum.
great amount, but yeah, we'll be happy, content. Now, what do you? Okay, so guys, throw out some. This is really difficult for polls because there's literally could be anything. It's really hard to. But what would you say? And this is a great chance to kind of guess. Guess what do you think will be in one of our? So you got 6 chances in theory, all the exact same 3. Who the hell knows? What do you think is going to be our top slots for most cringe? Vote now, and you'll very quickly find out if you're right or not. Vote now, forever hold your cringe.
Area 51 says, "I'm a Herbert. Get off my lawn, you damn hippies." Yes, indeed.
Yeah, put in what do you think our cringe will be right now, guys? Top 3, let us know. Yeah, do you think you'd have been a hippie if you were around at that time, Stuart, and actually old enough?
No.
What about your parents? How close to being hippies were they?
No, they definitely weren't. They definitely weren't.
Like you, I mean, neither of us are American, so our perspective is very, animals. Why would they be hippies? That wasn't crossed over into Canada per se. Canada. But how many hippies were there even in America at the time? Like, you sense it's the fad of the time, but they suddenly couldn't run if most people were hippies, because who's doing all the work? Because they ain't working. Like, the big jobs. So sure, it was such a small percentage, but they became, famous. Was it like 1 million only? 400,000? 200,000? 50,000 hippies?
It was all the people that didn't want to go to Vietnam, essentially. So the younger generation, college kids kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's made a lot of noise.
General Grievous, $2. Honorable mention, Lower Decks butt storage phaser.
Yeah, they need holsters on their uniforms. Seriously, guys. That's funny.
Well, that's Nature's Pocket if you watch Futurama. So, nothing wrong with Nature's Pocket.
Phasers are a bit big, though.
My stream froze, so...
Sure it does. Yes, guys. Any last? What do you think will be in our top three? Specifically, our top three. You guys know us. You guys know us. Any of your?
So we've got Code of Honor, Megatu Third Wheel, Ghost Candle. You already said Ghost Candle. Code of Honor. Spock's brain's missing. Yeah. Picard's French accent. I already talked about it.
Which is a good option.
It's not on our list though. It's not on our list. So, where can a girl wash her feet? There's nothing wrong with that scene at all. Not a Band Account throws in $2. Worf, Romulan ale should be illegal. It is. Yes. Mugatu Horn. Okay. The entire first season of Picard. No, that's not cringeworthy. That's just fucking embarrassing. And bad. So, anyway. Spock's brain. Klingon boobies. Yeah, that considered that as well.
Gorn costume. No, how's that? How's that cringe? Now, some of the movements he does, sure. But I think the costumes...
And the bouncing rock as well in that fight scene.
Well, now, one thing I would have mentioned, probably I guess my second sort of honorable mention, would be the penis rock that Kirk
released. Yeah, that was on my list. The phallic shapes to leg tight.
Like, I'm pretty sure people Photoshop extra details onto that.
They didn't.
Oh, how did the prop master not see that? Yeah. But you guys have some good guesses. So Stuart, my number 3, the bronze medal. Are you excited?
I am so excited. I just can't hide it. And no, I'm not going to sing that.
My number 3 is the, and of course I had to put something from the Kelvin timeline, is the Spock Khan scream, because I remember it in the cinema. I remember it. And yes, the I am Khan is also dumb, but this moment is meant to be powerful, impactful. And I remember I think this is the one of the moments I said, I out loud at the cinema said, "Oh God, really?" I don't talk in the cinema very much, but I actually said out loud, "Oh God."
I did too.
It's just really cringy as a moment. It's just it betrays itself, and it could have, if they'd done different wording, or if you're running a corridor saying "I'll get you, Khan," like they could have made it at least meaning something, but it's so meaningless in the moment.
Yep, it's so out of character. It's so many things wrong with it. It's just
in character JJ Spock, which is everything apart from being Spock.
That's true. It's true.
But it's amazing that you can just pull everybody out of the moment so successfully. And it feels like a troll.
Not everybody. Only the Star Trek fans.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing. Anybody who's not a Trek fan who watches movies just see it as, yeah, he's yelling at his friend. Who cares? Because they don't know the Spock character, and But yeah, that was a genuine cringe moment in that movie, and there's plenty. That movie is filled with those moments. It really is. But I was just like, it's more cringe because it literally does the opposite of what it's trying to do. And it plays it totally straight. And the scene's nice when Kirk dies. And I actually quite like the fact they were swap roles. Like, the engineering kicking was god-awful, but the actual death scene's nice enough. And then and I believe right after, because I've watched that scene a few times because it has good CG, right after the Khan scream, it cuts the ship, like, going through clouds, and it's a really good shot, but it's like the way it cuts is also pretty awkward. Whereas, like, for Kirk originally, like, lingers, it lets you lean into it. The other one's just like, and cut straight to the next motion. Like, oh, well, hot damn. Ruined that.
General Grievous, $2. Not surprised Commander Calkins would mention The Rock.
I mean, others,
Right, no,
although this Jericho does say Turbolift shaft from Discovery. It's pretty cringy too, in fairness.
It was considered for sure on my list. So was the turbo shift turbo lift shaft scene from Star Trek V as well, which almost made my list. So, all right. Matthew DeFreitas throws in $2. Khan had nothing to do with it. 'Twas the Admiral. Yep. There were no personal stakes. There was no history. There was no bad. Like, it just, there wasn't the grudge there. The, like, however, 20-year-old grudge, whatever. Just stupid. Anyway, moving on to my number 3, my bronze. Alan Moraine. The Alan Moraine song. Yeah. The premise of the episode's not that bad. But this gets brought up all the time in our lives. This is just, it is one of the cringiest moments in Trek history, in my opinion.
Clearly.
And to have them actually, like, exactly, yeah, doing the actions and doing the hopscotch and it's just, oh, no, stop. Like I said, the premise of the episode is not all that bad, but all anybody remembers of this episode is this. So, unfortunately, this is season 1 of DS9, and yeah, that's all I had to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that. Cuts to next him meeting JFK moment.
Yeah, earworm alert. Yeah.
It's hard to express this one, isn't it?
Yep.
Moving on.
Yep. This is probably on your list. That's why I didn't say much.
My number 2 is Alan Moraine.
Yep. See? Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, no, yeah. Good idea for an episode up until the point they make it. And it would have been a fun... it would have been a better Voyager episode, tonally.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because then you can imagine if it was Paris, Kim, and Tuvok in the game, then you got 2 playing fun, 1 playing straight man. Tom would really commit. Kim would science his way out, and Tuvok would say, "And guys, I could just have just walked around it. You can just cheat." What? You know, like that would have been really fun. But like, I mean, Jadzia and Bashir, fine. Although, boy, for Kira, like, tonally, doesn't fit with her at all. And all I can remember thinking is that Avery Brooks awfully dubbed or awfully on scene? Because his voice goes, "Oh, the high." It's like, that's not you doing it properly. Why you don't sing ever again, Avery. You're a good overactor, but you can't sing. It's just embarrassing. And you just got to skip those scenes, haven't you? There's nothing gained by them.
Yeah.
And it's not even. Yep. It's not even like with the. I assume you've seen The Cube, the horror film The Cube. It's Canadian, so you know.
I have not.
Oh, it's great. Really, the first one's fantastic, and for the budget, it's really, really clever. And so every set is the same set because it's a cube. So it's a cube full of cubes, and this is the similar thing. It's a lot of the same sets, but there's no like. They feel and look cheap. I get it's trying to be kind of a board game feel, but it just looks cheap, like very much a 1960s, but in a cheap way. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad because the alien mastermind guy, cool performance. Just cringy as well, but like that can be fun cringe.
Probably not the best idea to go to. See, I always wonder about this kind of shit. Like, this was their introduction to the Alpha Quadrant people. You got the commander and, these scientists, the second officer, the doctor, everybody in there that they don't know it's a game, but this is how your culture introduces itself to people or have fun, whatever.
Kidnapping.
Do you not think this is going to cause... Like, what if they did this to Cardassians? What if they did this to the Klingons? Every time there's a Star Trek episode where there's this weird kind of first meeting, I always wonder how other species would deal with it. And I'm sure there's a lot of annihilated species out there as a result. Because this would not sit well.
Yeah, those are the ones you don't hear about. Because they're dead, Jim.
Yes.
No, that's a true. In the fact there's no repercussions to this. I know there weren't actually any harm necessarily, but you don't kidnap everybody. It is non-consensual everything, and I love that. Every single Starfleet senior officer, Bashir's unlisted for some reason all of a sudden, and Odo's not a Starfleet. So the entire Starfleet command crew and the entire Bajoran command staff. That's like an act of war. That is.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like.
The
Klingons would slit everybody's throat at the gaming table, and then people would be stuck in there because they wouldn't know how to get them out.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Now, it would have been a fun TOS episode, but also in the 60s.
Yes.
And ironically...
Also, Voyager could have done it well as well, like you said. Yeah.
Because it would have been played into the fun, smart fun, rather than dumb.
Yeah.
And it's funny, because you guarantee also the 60s wrote it better as well. Those writers were some acclaimed writers. These guys in this one were not. Let's be honest. There's not good writing here. Yeah. So there you go.
Not a band account. $5.
But I can do this.
Alan Moraine, then 3 more. Alan Moraine, if you can see Alan Moraine, you'll come with me. There you go. Now it's stuck in your brains.
I used my personal choice there.
Alan Moraine, you'll come with me. There we go. Okay.
Number 2.
So that's my number 3 and his number 2. So let's move on to my number 2.
Oh no,
now.
Picard maneuver. Yeah, no, he says Avery Brooks can sing with jazz album. He did, didn't he? He did.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Maybe he could play jazz. I didn't know he could sing necessarily.
Oh my God, that. Oh, and yet. Oh.
General Grievous, $5. Now we know how Sisko returns to the mortal realm. He starts singing Alan Moraine. The prophets recognize it as a weapon of the paw race and kick him off.
Fair.
No one would ever sing that song by choice.
And it is funny because they, of all the things DS9 ever did, they actually apologized for this in the closing credits of their one documentary.
Yeah. Yeah,
like that's how much they know how crap it was, because they bonus post credit apology. That tells you, all their things. It's that bad. Anyway, all right, Stuart, your silver medal as we've shifted our bronze and silver.
My silver is Code of Honor. The episode, the ideas in it. Tasha and Troy's like, oh my God, he's so sexy. It's so awesome to be wanted by a man like this. Anything about this episode absolutely sucks. So yes, Code of Honor is on my list as an entire one-piece episode for multiple reasons. So Code of Honor for the silver place, second place position. There you go, Code of Honor, guys. You're welcome.
But like I said, for me, it isn't cringe so much as just sad and some problems, and
it's definitely sad. Yes,
it's problematic more than cringe.
Problematic works too.
And as I said to you at the time, if they'd just been purple aliens, you wouldn't think anything of it.
No, you wouldn't.
Not a damn thing.
Nope.
Because their culture's not necessarily explicitly black culture; it just happen to be aliens that look. It's more the dress combined with the choice of actors. But if half of them had been white, same thing, no problem. It's just the tone deaf combination of factors rather than, they weren't trying racist. Of course they weren't. It was just
Yeah.
But
least let's put it this way.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a long, a colony from Earth that inhabited this planet. At least they didn't go that route.
Mm-hmm.
So. Credit to them for that, because this was leftover phase 2 script as well. So thank you for that, at least.
Yeah, like I say, it's just a few bad choices that happen to come together and form a worse whole. But yeah, like I say, just disappointing rather than cringe for me. But I get you. I get you.
General Grievous, $5. Now we know how Sisko. I read that one already. Never mind. Thought I had a new super chat, but I don't. Guys, I want to hear your number ones, your most cringiest moments. And we also need 6 more likes, so hit that like button as well, guys.
And John Guru says, Jonathan Frakes describes this episode as a racist piece of shit, his own words. Yeah, he probably hasn't watched it since the 80s. So his memories are socially constructed rather than necessarily watching it again. You know, it's like a lot of people say, oh, it was great working on the show, but like, well, that's a crap thing. But it's like, yeah, because I enjoy working with the people in it, etc., etc. So, you know, it's like Patrick wanted Doom Buggy and Gwyneth Paltrow hasn't seen any Marvel films, so the actors aren't the best to...
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow also has a candle called Scented Bud called My Vagina, so, I mean, and her whole loop.
But I just happened to read that today. She happened to be on my newsfeed. Yeah. So it's just, you know, actors aren't necessarily the best judge. And again, when they're being told by the media for 30 years, one thing he did in the 80s was a racist piece of shit, I don't think he's ever gone back to watch it necessarily.
Yeah. And 30-something man-child says the script said tribal, and the director or casting director said tribal equals black. Cringe. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just,
Yeah.
Tribal is a mentality. It's not a, that's the problem with this episode. That's the nail they hung this episode on. The result, everything in the episode is garbage. So, anyway, I guess that sets us in place for our first place picks, guys.
Yeah, and guys, $30 more.
Super chat right now.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we'd love another $30, a couple 5s, 10s, 30 would be awesome. So let us know what you think is our first place, because we've already got Code of Honor and all that stuff out of the way. So now, where are we sitting? What do you think our first place? I have no idea what Samuel's would be. He might be able to guess mine, especially if I give him a hint, but I'm not going to.
Look, you've had some nice curveballs here, and there's one thing I can say about you. You hold on to certain little things, and they dig inside you, and that comes out in these sorts of top 10s. And I love that because it makes you unpredictable. So, I can anybody tell his number one?
Well, you're my number one, but
oh,
babe. Matthew Jafrida's cringiest thing, Sub Rosa. I arrived late. Sub Rosa was on my list.
Yes.
I forget what number it was, but.
And that's what's great about this. That, you know, it would. I even considered it, honestly, as I was going through TNG season 1, thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to curveball the curveball and just do a TNG season 1 cringe list and just limit it to that.
Ooh, we should. Oh my god, there's so many opportunities for lists. We could do series cringe moments.
Oh yeah.
And then season cringe moments, character cringe moments.
Yeah.
So
those would be harder, obviously, but also your search parameters would be much cleaner, and also then the bar would be way different. Like
Geordie. Anything Geordie does with a woman is cringe. Yeah. So. And
you can find those without too much hassle, etc. Like I've got 2 more just pure moments of TNG. I'm like, that's a cringe, but they weren't, because it seemed
actually
odd.
Oh no, don't go ahead.
But it seemed odd to just pick on that because I happened to be scrolling through TNG season 1. Like there's plenty, but I have to go back and re-skim through every single episode of every single season, and I could find lots, which is how I found the gel scene in Enterprise, etc. So that was really useful. Just I didn't have a tough time or whatever to go through everything.
Yeah. Okay, as I was going to say, this might be a good time now to do some honorable mentions before our number ones.
Do it.
I do have a few on my list here. So,
perfect.
But yeah, so one of the things that was on my list, obviously I mentioned it earlier, was the turbo lift shaft from Star Trek 5, but that's more just embarrassing than cringe, honestly. Next up...
Well, it's definitely cringe when you get the deck like 176. It's like...
Yeah.
Hopefully... they'll fix that for the 4K release. Frickin' easy.
They won't.
Well,
somebody did it online. Somebody fixed it on YouTube, and it's fucking great.
Well, they fixed some matte lines on the motion picture, I believe, and they fixed like a composite thing. So they're doing tiny little fixes. So it's like, but then it's also is it nice? Like, is it wrong to fix a goof when it's iconic? But it's such a dumb goof. Have
the choice.
Well, yeah.
Of watching the original scene or watching how it should be.
But then it's like, do you watch the improved cut or the standard? What's the difference? Trekyards says, the turbolift sequence. What about it? They change numbers. Is that it? Yep. Wait, you're saying 40 gigs on this disc is just to that new version? Yep. It's like, oh, right. I get what you mean, but it's just a question of just such an easy, like, just mistake. It's just a pure mistake.
Yeah, that's why I did. That's why it was one of the first ones I grabbed, and then it just easily got brushed aside.
Yeah.
Do you have any honorable mentions, or do you want me to just do mine?
Yeah, you go first.
My next one, which I really wanted on the list, but unfortunately got bumped out by a bunch of stuff, was Spock and Una singing in the turbo lift. Cringy for the characters, for sure. If they didn't have the long history of what the characters are, would have been fine, I guess. But yeah,
man, that was on my almost was on the list as well.
Yep, I figured it would be. That's why I kind of wanted to get it on my list to surprise you with it, because.
Oh, that's.
But yeah, this.
I don't know why that stands out so much.
It's out of character for both of them. That's why. And it will never be referenced. Well, it might be referenced in Strange New Worlds, I guess, but I don't know.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm like, okay, wow. I'm so happy that's on your honorable mention. Because I also rewatched the scene. It's the music that makes it worse. It becomes a farce.
Yeah.
Like just total farce for a little bit. Okay, what's your third honorable mention then? That's cool.
Third honorable mention is Captain Decker's uniform in the motion picture. At least when he's in the hallway, which is the picture I have here, for very obvious reasons. When it's on the bridge, he's got the shirt that covers that. He's got the low-cut shirt. They changed the style. This is cringe. I wouldn't want to wear this.
It was cold on set, and so they designed it with a normal set in mind. The position changed and the uniform wasn't designed for that. God, can you imagine if you saw his nipples as well?
If it wasn't cold, that would look even worse. Come on now.
Can you imagine if you saw his nips as well? It's like everything was poking out. Oh yeah, thanks for that. Thank you for this.
Alan Parr is like, I never noticed that until now. Thanks, Trekyards.
Anything
we can do to.
I
got a bunch of super chats in when we were doing those, so I don't know if you want to mention any honorable mentions now or do super chats.
Yeah, I had 3. Well, singing short as well. I called it.
You want to do super chats first, then do yours?
Yeah, let me just load them up. Yeah.
Okay. General Grievous, $2. A couple 5s, 10s, or 30s, or if you have 1s, fan dance.
Yeah. I mean, throw some ones.
Ones are good for sniping for the last super chat slot. So
we'll dance for ones.
And the problem is you can't do that in Canada because we have loonies. So you have to dance for 5s at the minimum. So
right.
Yeah, that's how it works. Not a band account, $2. Kelvin Timeline Beer Factory Engineering is a guess for number 1. Again,
guess.
Well, might be. We'll see. Hold on, I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, cinder blocks, man.
Yeah, I know. Quadricor's $2. I'm going to guess it's the Magatu from Lower Decks. Okay, another good guess.
That was more gross than cringe. Subtle distinction, but
yeah.
For me anyway. For me.
Mark Lawrence, $2. The Power of Math, people.
Yeah.
Kind of fit the character, though. I like science, did not fit the character. That being said, it wasn't Spock saying that. It was the Telosian's projection saying that. It was the Telosian's projection of Spock.
What, in engineering? He's in the spore chamber room saying that.
No, he's not. He's on Section 31 ship. And he says, I like science. We had this debate when we talked about it because it wasn't actually him that said it. So, yeah. Prove me wrong. I might be wrong. Prove me wrong. Area 51, $2. Willard and his Deckard. Or Decker.
There you go. That one's for you.
And General Grievous, $2. Decker's onesies is probably It probably has an aft hatch. Yeah, it's just his long johns. He forgot to put his uniform on. That's the under.
This is underoos, as Marvel would
Yeah.
say.
All right, so now let's get to Samuel's honorable mention.
Yes. So I have 3. I have this moment from TNG. Again, I went through TNG early, so it's kind of a theme. The moment when not Kirk's son touches Riker. I was like, that's just cringe. Just cringy acting, cringy scene. It was theoretically a good scene, but just cringy acting and just the way it's done. I don't know, just cringy to me. Simple,
Act
short.
paralyzed, like you're in a lot of pain and you can't move and you're immobile. All right, good.
Did it in 1. Thanks, Jonathan. No problem. Yeah.
I'll be a director someday. Very well, Jonathan.
I'll direct Thunderbirds one day. So yeah, that one's cringe for me. Another one, yeah, I had the sex moment with Beverly and Crusher. That'd be a moment. Beverly and Picard. Wasn't so great. And another moment, and again, I was scrolling through things when I got Lifeform at the Miss Tricorder. I thought, you know what? Yeah, the moment when Data pushes stunt double Crusher off the ship is cringe. It's not funny. It's not clever. It's wasting everyone's money and time. It's cringy.
Yeah.
It's not good. Just skip that entire sequence and use the money better, because that cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars of budget. They could have done better than having Kirk on a bridge. Yeah, that's just a cringe moment. But yeah, I sort of stopped at a certain point. I'm like, okay, I've got my 10. They're pretty diverse.
Yeah, I did too. I kept adding them, and then I'm like, how many do I have? Oh shit, I got 13. I'm gonna stop there. I still have more on my list.
Yep.
I browsed that, and there was nothing that really needed to be added to this one if we're doing more. So, General Grievous, $2. The best mental assault on Troy and Nemesis.
Yeah, well, I did consider Valeris in 6, because that's like bad and uncomfortable rather than cringe. It's mind rape. They're both mind rape. Mind rape can't be cringe. It goes beyond cringe and that's what I'm saying there now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's time for our number ones.
Do you have any guess for my number ones, Stuart?
No.
Okay. This one gets my number 1. It is a small thing, but I'm just like, yeah, that's just cringy.
I already talked about Decker's uniform.
Well, actually, hey, boy, what a segue. Stuart, as you know, my oath of celibacy is not on record. It refuses to be on record. But
It's true.
for some reason, this is a dialogue in a Star Trek film. Said point blank, said straight faced, and Kirk moves past it in a second. And this was chosen to be kept in this film. Why the absolute F with this woman saying my oath of celibacy is on record? Now I understand there's greater context to this. None of it is in the movie. None of it. I don't care if the book says that they're a hypersexualized species, blah, blah, blah. None of it's in the movie. So none of it the audience would get, most of it, unless they read a book. So just, all it says is this woman's either a massive slut, or for some reason men want to do her in massive hordes, and so they have to have a celibacy thing.
I disagree, because there's dialogue that shows she's a Deltan. It's like, oh, well, that's going to be a problem kind of thing. And then she shows up and says, so just introducing that as a Deltan trait with that line.
But that's not enough context. Like, okay, maybe they're wanted. I don't know. Like, yes, you're right. There's a slight bit of, okay, they're rare. But she hasn't done anything sexual in the movie. She's a non-sexual character. Really? Like, maybe a couple of eyes to Jacob they dated. Like, there's nothing... Like she's
Well, it's the original Imzadi. It's the original Riker and Troy relationship. They reused that for TNG.
Sure. But it'd be fine if she was like supermodel, classic American beauty with big assets. For some reason, cleavage. It's like really like
she was a gorgeous model.
Then they shaved her hair, and then she's not a gorgeous model.
Yes, they did. Yes,
so
I agree, but she was a big name, and the fact she did that for the role.
Yes,
you'd have to be living in the 70s and be aware of it. So, yeah, okay.
Because for me, she's very not attractive in the context of the scene. So, and none of that pays off to me. And I've seen her with the hair, she's lovely with the hair. And I've seen the clip of her losing hair, really quite an emotional little clip. but just the film does not justify this reaction, and it's so out of left field. And it's another sexual one, but Trek doesn't do sexual that well. It's just cut the line. It's a 1 second line, and his reaction, just cut it. It hurts the film for its nonsensicalness, and no officer should say that. In Starfleet, it's inappropriate and it's silly, and just this one's always got me as like a cringe. So yeah, cringy.
Sebastian, I disagree. It makes most. To me, it makes most women unattractive to be bald. So, no matter how pretty they are beforehand, even short haircuts on some women just really ruin it. So, and a lot of people feel that way. Samuel.
With her, lovely. And it's sad because she's the same race as the president in Star Trek 6 with the long white hair and the eyebrows. Like
wow.
Like that's the confusing thing.
So too. I thought so too.
That's what they say.
It's not. I know, but apparently all Deltons are bald. Yeah.
Except all the ones we see.
Well, except for the males, if you want to go that way. If you want to say he is a Delton.
Well, that's what I mean. Like all the men are very hairy. Women are bald. It's an odd distinction they threw us. But just have her be white hair and
Yeah, I mean, they could choose styles.
Well, sure. Just have her be full white haired then, with bushy eyebrows if you want. Just as a really odd choice.
Maybe it's a religious thing. Maybe,
Well, her celibacy's on record, so there's clearly some sort of specialty about it. Yeah.
Well, you can't join Starfleet without that because otherwise. Yes.
Okay. See, it would make sense for an Orion who has pheromones, right? Context, great. And Tendi saying that would be weird in low decks, but I'd be like, okay, fine. But yeah, doesn't really work.
And they're saying Karen Gillian is bald is still not known.
Yeah, she's okay. I mean, she's also a killer robot. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call that the idea here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, this has just always stunned me as a really cringe moment in the film. So,
yeah. All right. My number one.
It's got to be something for like TOS that I'm not thinking of. Maybe it's Plato's stepchildren when he's, being ridden around.
Horsey.
That I can imagine, but that's the thing. If something hit you as a child, you're just like, ugh. I imagine that might be what this is going to be. Something very specific. Like, that one's for me.
My number one is Spock yelling "Khan" into darkness, because let's try to do the Wrath of Khan again in a remade format, but let's switch it up and have Spock yell it in exactly the same manner. It's just everything about it. The movie intent in general is
cringy,
trying to be something that it wasn't. Do something original. They didn't. This is the perfect example of that. Taking the scream of Khan and then just migrating it to a different character who shouldn't be screaming anyway. But oh, wait a minute, this is the Kelvin JJ universe where Spock is more emotional than. I don't even want to make a comparison because I'll probably get something thrown at me at this point. So, yeah. No, it was just an awful scene. And I never do this. Well, I don't say I never do this. I rarely do this in the theater where it's like, are you kidding? But that was a vocal moment for me in the theater. And I remember it quite distinctly. I was very embarrassed at that point for Star Trek. And is the ultimate cringe for me because, man, it didn't work for me. So there you go. That's that.
Well, it's sort of the epitome, and the film more in general, just like they just misunderstood everything, and yet wanted to bring a misunderstanding into the mainstream of. Oh, they're just popcorn films. Like, oh, that's what you're doing here, is it? That's a shame.
Summer blockbuster popcorn films to get masses in seats. And it's for non-Star Trek. People at the theater. What would be fun to watch, honey? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was on my list. I think number 5 it was.
Yes.
But
I didn't say much, but I was still like, oh shit.
Yeah, because it's more in this night, it's more annoying to me than cringe, but obviously it's still cringe. That's what's on my list. If I had to, whatever. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you agree with me? Yeah.
Seriously, no turbolift cavern, says Rusty Knuckle. I know. It didn't even cross my mind, honestly. I try to put that out of my mind. Yeah, it should be added to the list for sure.
That's more of the bit you become an alcoholic because of the deep depression it puts you into. This is just cringe. Or anger inducing. Var variety.
All right. We got a super chat from General Grievous of $5.
He's kicking ass today. Thank you.
Ilea, my oath of celibacy is on record. Kirk. Well, see about that. Rules are meant to be broken sometimes.
Yeah, and can you imagine if he said, "Oh, first shuttle out of this place. There's no celibacy on my ship." It's like, oh, yes.
Mark Lawrence, $5. We need a top 10 one episode fun characters. Two-parters are okay. One episode fun characters.
Yeah, like
we should do a top 10 most lighthearted episodes of Star Trek. Because there are some that are quite, fun, episode-wise, or story-wise, at least within the episode. So that might be good.
Yeah, that could be fun. I mean, we want obviously ideas from you guys to think of. The top 10 ideas, because these are fun. They're nice. They're creative. They span all of Trek. Yeah, I like it. I like it. No AJN UK. He wasn't at all involved in Beyond. Not at all. And that's why it's good.
He was a name, like a producer name credit.
Yeah, he got paid to not do anything on Beyond because his company was still involved.
And that's why Beyond was the best of the three.
Easily. Not even a question.
The Doctor, it's Orsi and Kurtzman's fault for the second two movies. No, they wrote the first one, not the second two.
They wrote the first two, but they didn't do anything with the third one. Yeah. What a crazy time, eh?
Yeah.
When that was the only Trek we had. But because it was literally not the same universe, it was easier to deal with.
Yep. Well,
there we go.
I guess that's it for this list. We'll have to revisit this topic at some other point.
There's definitely something to be said.
Have new cringy moments to talk about. There's a lot of them, so.
And we could definitely do them for just TNG, just Voyager. Really sort of dig down a bit. And what's interesting about these aren't necessarily the social cringe moments. These are ones that appeal to us or disappeal to us, anyway. Yeah. But guys, we need $5 more, literally, and 2 more likes. Those are very achievable goals, guys. And tomorrow we have got Discovery for you and me, but that'll be on Friday, so we'll have one more normal week.
Yeah, I'll have my live first reaction to the next episode tomorrow night at 10. So tune in for that, guys.
But I'm assuming I'll chat to you as our new regular on the Thursday and do our pre-content. Hopefully it'll be good. Something will happen. And we have a special guest lined up for next week to talk about Discovery. So hopefully there's lots to talk about because we have a special guest. So it'd be nice to have some stuff to talk about. This extra,
Would be nice.
Very nice.
General Grievous, $5. J.J. Abrams never really cared about Star Trek. He used it as a demo reel to get hired by Disney to make the new Star Wars, and then he left when he got his dream and ruined that too. Yes, I added those last few words.
You did. I noticed that. I was following that.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean,
Let's treat Star Wars the way it should be treated. Change the Falcon. The shape of the radar dish can change.
I get 50 cents for every Lego set and for every toy, and wow. My kid I got my kid his first car because I changed the Falcon and C-3PO's leg.
The rest of the ship looks like it should, so does everything else in the universe. Oh, but Star Trek? I never really liked that. How are we going to make that more Star Wars? Yeah, let's change everything. Yeah. No respect for that man at all.
Well, we said before, he's a good visual director, but he can't write stories for shit. like for
He doesn't like
shit.
Star Trek. I like the interview where he says, I literally stopped listening after you said you didn't never like Star Trek. Why put somebody like that in charge of a Star Trek movie? That being said, Nicholas Meyer directed Star Trek 2, and he never really watched Star Trek. He wasn't a fan necessarily, so I mean that turned out all right. But
But also, he became a fan of Trek from working on Trek.
absolutely, he did. Yeah, he didn't not understand Trek though, like JJ. I could never get into it as a kid because it. Anyway.
Well, and also, you know, Maya watched all the episodes of Trek as reference, and that's a lot of hours to spend in a short amount of time just downing the essence of Star Trek.
Well, that's why you can tell, and with what they did with with 2009. We're gonna watch all the episodes of Star Trek. All right, cool. Let's start with TOS. You watch the first 3 episodes, like Charlie X, that has like Spock and Uhura kind of flirty little moment by the captain's chair, and then they sing together down in the mess hall. And it's like, oh, we're not gonna watch the rest because we just don't want to. Spock and Uhura obviously have a thing. That's going to be a thing in our movie for sure, because obviously the Star Trek fans know about that. It must carry on throughout the whole thing.
I mean, we've all seen
So
Star Trek 5, where it's totally Spock and Uhura on the bridge flirting.
Oh, Scotty and Uhura.
Oh. Well, it'd be great actually.
That almost made my cringe list, by the way. That scene. So.
Look, Sulu, the sun's come out. But it would be fun to have at the time, assuming JJ actually have to speak only truths, to ask him, as he's producing 09, JJ, yes, random interviewer, how many TOS episodes did you watch in preparation? Oh, none. None, you say? No, I've let my writers do it. So you didn't do any research? Well, no, it's my film. So, oh. I bet he's maybe seen 1. Maybe 2. Maybe. You probably saw the Khan one. Yeah. Fun stuff.
General Cord, 2 pounds. Agree with Captain Foley. All JJ universe is cringy.
Yeah, we definitely need to do a Drunk Yards live in person 09 review.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. It'd be so long. We'd have so much to say.
Well, I feel like we'd also have, because it'd be pictures obviously, but we would we'd be very specific. Oh.
Jeff Harris says, when that chick came on the bridge and said her oath of celibacy is on record, Kirk should have countered with oath of promiscuity on this ship. Oh,
that's a fair counter. And Decker's like, my oath of male slutness is on record. I understand, sir. Good, we have an agreement. Yeah, see, that's yeah. Wow, yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. The General Cord now is the last super chat slot. So thank you so much, guys. We had 115 likes, which is good.
Nice.
This was a shorter one, and that's fine. But tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my first reaction, and of course Friday for our reaction, our live breakdown and discussion of the latest episode of Discovery. So, I guess until next time, guys. He's Commander Cockings.
He is, and right there. There's 2 of him there, and if I do this, there's 2 of him there and 1 of him here. Captain Foley.
I am. And we have no cringy moments here on Trekyards, so don't even bother trying to make a top 10 list of that. Bye, guys.